Go tell your friends about it. Go tell your friends about it.
Good morning, guys. JT here, and here are my takeaways from today's sales huddle. Although I composed my takeaways right after UWM sales huddle, these are a little different. These are actually my takeaways from an amazing weekend this past weekend. I haven't been to 3rd Street Promenade in a very long time, God knows how long. But this Sunday, my family and I were thinking, okay, where should we go? A good 3 weeks ago, my family and I took a trip to Santa Monica. That was great. So we didn't want to go back to the Santa Monica Pier this time. So what we did is we took a drive to 3rd Street Promenade. And let me back up a little bit. It was about 95 degrees, maybe even pushing 100 degrees here in the valley. It was actually a very nice drive through the canyons. We get to the beach and all of a sudden the temperature drops by a good 30 degrees. I think 75 degrees was like the highest temperature out in Santa Monica. So we get there. We find parking, and if you've ever been there, you'll notice that there's different performers. So we made our first round on the promenade, and on the way back, we noticed that, of course, it was later, but there was more performers. And I see these two young ladies kind of preparing themselves, kind of like tuning in the violin. And although they weren't performing yet, I knew they were going to be performing very soon. So I tell my wife, honey, let's hang on. I want to see what they're going to be doing. And mind you, before they performed, they already had a decent sized crowd. So these young ladies start performing, and I am blown away. Now, let me show you a little bit about what they were doing, okay? As we walk away, I tell my son Aron, it was only my son Aron and my daughter Aleda that were with us, my wife and I. And I tell my son, you see that right there, son? They are fighting for their dreams. They are pursuing their dreams. Do you think they had options to stay at home and do the normal things that 13-year-old or 15-year-old kids are doing? And of course, they have options. But the truth of the matter is that they put themselves out there. They put themselves in the arena. They exposed themselves to people laughing, people not applauding, people not tipping them. As I was filming that, kind of got me very emotional, got me very teary-eyed. And my hope is that these young ladies make it. My hope is that these young ladies one day are performing in a big stage. My hope is that they make it very big because they're paying the price that success requires. And as we walked away, I told my son, this is no different than us making phone calls. This is no different than us prospecting. This is no different than us walking in and out of offices, exposing ourselves to being rejected when we're making the phone calls, when we're walking inside of a real estate office or any type of an office. You're putting in the work. And I will tell you that God, success gods, whoever you believe in, that is watching what you are doing when no one is watching you, because all of that activity would amount to something. So my question to you is, are you exposing yourself today? Are you doing the work required? And although you're not exposing yourself in front of 50, 70, 100 people in that 3rd Street Promenade, but you're calling 75, 100 people. And out of those 75, 100 people, guys, who knows, maybe a fraction of them picks up. What do you do when you get rejected, right? So I'm making this video although you're not a performer, although you're not performing in front of a large crowd, you are performing on a one-on-one. You're performing when you're inside of an office. You're performing when you're in front of a clinic. You are performing when you are on that call. And what you do with what happens after you get rejected, or what you do with what happens after you win, tell you, God is watching and God will reward you accordingly. Guys, this is a little different. I hope that you found it of value. And if you did, I would appreciate if you like it. It kind of messes with the algorithm. And I would also appreciate you sharing this value with a fellow entrepreneur. Guys, thank you very much. These are my takeaways from today's unique JT's takeaways. Have a great day and let's dominate.